Chapter 1. An educational perspective on hardship, family, and social change. Throughout the course of life, all individuals encounter hardship. Financial strain, career challenges, and relationship difficulties are common experiences across societies. While these hardships are universal, individuals respond to them in different ways. Some people manage adversity effectively, while others struggle when faced with similar circumstances. These differences can often be attributed to factors such as upbringing, personal beliefs, family support systems, life experiences, and worldviews. Past experiences play a significant role in shaping how individuals cope with present challenges. In contemporary society, individuals are increasingly overwhelmed by life's demands. People are frequently confronted with social problems and moral dilemmas that may not directly involve them, but nonetheless exert a powerful influence. Issues such as homicide, suicide, sexual abuse, drug addiction, and other forms of social dysfunction permeate daily life. Even when individuals are not personally involved in these situations, they are affected through their families, communities, and broader social environments. Most people know someone, a neighbor, friend, or family member who has experienced one or more of these challenges. As a result, society as a whole is influenced by the actions and circumstances of others. These social problems have reached what many describe as epidemic proportions, shaping attitudes, behaviors, and daily decision-making. While it is not surprising that such difficulties exist, it is concerning how frequently they occur. News reports regularly describe incidents of violence, crime, and social instability. Similarly, issues such as marital separation, divorce, child abuse, domestic abuse, single parenthood, and illegitimacy have become increasingly visible. For many individuals and families, these challenges are part of everyday life. It is reasonable to assume that such conditions can have significant negative effects on children. Exposure to unstable family environments and social conflict may influence a child's emotional, psychological, and educational development, both in the present and long term. Some observers argue that these conditions reflect a shift in values, in which individual priorities have increasingly taken precedence over family and collective responsibility. This emphasis on individualism may foster self-centeredness and diminish concern for the well-being of others. Consequently, traditional values that once prioritized family stability and child welfare have weakened, often placing children's needs secondary to personal fulfillment. Despite extensive research and numerous publications by counselors, therapists, sociologists, and psychologists on marriage and family life, family structures continue to deteriorate. Although theories of child-rearing, communication, and relationships are widely available, their practical impact on strengthening families has been limited. As a result, many families continue to experience fragmentation and instability. In recent years, more individuals have begun to recognize that certain lifestyles and social philosophies have not produced the intended outcomes. Ideas surrounding unrestricted sexual freedom, divorce, and alternative relationship structures have done little to resolve societal challenges. Instead, many individuals report feelings of loneliness, alienation, and disconnection. Children are often the most affected, experiencing neglect, emotional insecurity, exposure to violence, and, in some cases, becoming victims of others' actions. These outcomes reflect the broader consequences of shifting lifestyles and weakened family units, leaving lasting emotional scars on children and youth. Given these realities, it is essential to examine the institution of marriage and the family, particularly within educational settings. Family life represents a child's first and most influential learning environment. The home is where foundational values, behaviors, and attitudes are formed. As the cornerstone of society, the family plays a critical role in shaping not only individual development but also the stability of communities and nations. By studying family structures, educators and policymakers can gain a deeper understanding of contemporary social conditions and the challenges faced by children in schools. This analysis raises important questions. Why is society increasingly fragmented? Why do individuals hold conflicting views on political, economic, and educational issues? Why is consensus so difficult to achieve? Why have non-traditional lifestyles become more common? And how do these choices affect society as a whole? Why were many of today's social challenges less prevalent 50 or 60 years ago? Many scholars suggest that these questions share a common foundation: the transformation of family structure. One group central to this transformation is the generation commonly referred to as the baby boomers, the children of soldiers returning from World War II. This generation, along with their children, began to question long-standing traditions, beliefs, and social norms. During the late 1950s and early 1960s, a social revolution emerged, challenging conventional ideas about family, morality, authority, and personal identity. Baby boomers embraced a liberal lifestyle that was unprecedented in U.S. history. Impetus was placed on personal freedom, self-expression, and individual fulfillment. Individuals were encouraged to explore lifestyles that satisfied their own needs, often with limited consideration of broader social consequences. This philosophy promoted self-discovery and self-actualization, suggesting that personal happiness could be achieved through inner exploration and autonomy. While this approach emphasized individual growth, it did not fully anticipate the long-term effects on future generations. Human development does not occur in isolation. Individuals are shaped by parents, peers, culture, media, and social institutions. Although people often perceive their choices as entirely personal, most decisions are influenced by observed behaviors, social expectations, and past experiences. Children raised with the belief that they are completely separate from society may develop a sense of detachment from collective responsibility. Although individuals are ultimately responsible for their actions, personal decisions are rarely independent of social influence. People learn by observing both successes and failures in others. In this sense, individuality is formed through interaction with the social environment rather than in isolation. To illustrate the importance of social context, consider a farming family in the early 1900s. Traditional roles were clearly defined. Fathers worked the land, mothers maintained the home, and children assisted according to gender expectations. Daily life followed a predictable routine shared by most families in similar communities. Within this context, ideas about personal autonomy or alternative lifestyles would have been considered inappropriate or unrealistic, as the social climate did not support such thinking. Social ideas gain meaning only when they are shared and recognized by others. Without a receptive social environment, individual beliefs cannot flourish. It was not until the social upheaval of the 1960s that conditions allowed new ways of thinking to emerge collectively. During this period, widespread social movements challenged authority, traditional values, and established institutions. The Vietnam War, civil rights activism, and cultural shifts contributed to a broader questioning of norms. Youth, particularly college students, played a central role in advocating for change, emphasizing peace, equality, personal freedom, and self-expression. New lifestyles, artistic expression, and alternative living arrangements became symbols of this transformation. For the first time in U.S. history, an entire generation actively rejected traditional norms on a large scale. By the mid-1960s, this social revolution had gained momentum, influencing younger generations and reshaping American culture. While these changes expanded individual freedoms, they also contributed to challenges that continue to affect families, education, and society today.